We weren't the greatest generation. Our generation came together under the spirit of a common purpose. And under that spirit, we were called on to a higher endeavor. We were a privileged generation. We joined together in a common spirit. I think in that mode we can accomplish anything.
In the early morning of May 19, 2009, 110 World War II veterans from around Wyoming gathered in Cheyenne for the first Honor Flight Wyoming, a trip to the National World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C.
I've been excited for 24 hours.
Did you get any sleep? He's been excited longer than that.
Well, I slept till 1, and then I went back to bed at 2, and then I went back to bed at 3. 5:30 I got up and dressed.
Oh my gosh.
The Honor Flight's mission is to thank World War II veterans for their courage, service, and sacrifice by sending them to visit and reflect at their memorial. It was a trip the war heroes had waited more than 64 years to take, and for many of them it was an opportunity to share stories they may not have even told their families, and to get long-awaited closure. Their trip began with a heartfelt send-off in Cheyenne, including an honor guard and remarks by Cheyenne Mayor Rick Kaysen and Governor Dave Friedenthal.
And we could live our dreams because of your sacrifices and because of those efforts. Yes, 60 years plus later, you are still giving to this country, you are still giving to this world because of those efforts so many years ago.
So I appreciate what you did. I appreciate the fact that Wyoming is going to give you this small bit of recognition by supporting your opportunity to see the memorial. I've been there a couple of times, get some moving experience, but I cannot imagine how much more moving it will be for those of you who fought in that great conflict to make sure that people like myself and all over this great country have the opportunity to enjoy these freedoms. So on behalf of all of the citizens of Wyoming, we thank you, we bless you, and we encourage you to enjoy this trip. God bless you.
Oh, I'm staying excited. I can't keep on the seat. I think I'm walking about 10 foot tall.
Their departure from Cheyenne Regional Airport included a water cannon salute. Members of the military and the public gave the Wyoming veterans a hero's welcome at Washington's Dulles International Airport. At a banquet that evening, they were recognized by former Vice President Dick Cheney, U.S. Senators Mike Enzi and John Barrasso, U.S. Representative Cynthia Lummis, and State Auditor Rita Meyer, a veteran who helped organize the Washington events for the Honor Flight.
The fact is that our world is more hopeful, more free, and more peaceful than it would have otherwise become. Dictators fell, millions were liberated, and former enemies became the free nations and friends of the United States. And these things happened because our nation held true to its principles, because we persevered through tough and fearful days, and because we stayed in the fight until the fight was won. All of that was so long ago. And I know that today and almost every day your thoughts go back to that time, to the events that you saw and to the experiences you lived through. I know your thoughts turn often as well to the ones you cared most about back then, to your mothers and dads who saw you off at the train station and welcomed you home, and the guys you knew who didn't make it back. Across all the years, you've never forgotten them. And I think it's fair to say they'd be awfully proud of you and of the lives you've lived. You've carried on a great legacy, shared it with your children and grandchildren. You were good soldiers, faithful and true when America depended on you. I hope you'll always be proud of service because you have reflected great credit on yourselves, on the state of Wyoming, and on the United States of America. God bless you, and thank you for what you did for all of us.
My dad would always say to me, John, you should thank God every day you live in America. You don't know how very fortunate you are. We are so very fortunate, we are so very blessed, and we are so very grateful for what you have done to make this country great.
That was you. No other army in the world could have done what you did. And we are so proud of you.
Gentlemen and women of Wyoming who have served our nation so well, thank you. We honor you, we celebrate you, we pray for you good health, Godspeed, and we are a grateful state and a grateful nation. Thank you very much.
The following morning, they were transported by bus to the 5-year-old memorial that honors the spirit, sacrifice, and commitment of the more than 16 million American men and women who served in the armed forces during the war that was a defining event of the 20th century. The Wyoming veterans were greeted at the memorial by school children from Ohio. And they witnessed the wreath laying and flag ceremony there for the fallen Wyoming veterans of the war. The Wyoming men and women who helped save the world then got a couple of hours to explore the memorial and their own memories of an event that influenced all of our lives. For the veterans, it was a chance to see the memorial with other veterans and share war stories with others who were there. For the Guardians, it was a chance to listen and talk to heroes for a day. Retired Senator Bob Dole, himself a decorated combat veteran of the war, spoke to the Wyoming veterans on their buses following their visit.
But he said, when I got home and I had a chance to think about it, I felt good about myself and about what I did in my life and the contribution I made in World War II. So thank you very much.
The trip then took the veterans to the Lincoln Memorial, U.S. Marine Corps Memorial, Vietnam and Korean War memorials. At the end of a long, emotional day, the Wyoming veterans returned to Cheyenne to a homecoming they didn't get when they came back from the war more than 60 years ago. The huge crowd that greeted them again included Governor Freudenthal and Mayor Kaysen. The whirlwind 40-hour trip was a small but appreciated thank you to the heroes who preserved the freedom that we enjoy today.